Welcome back to Advertising Champions here in Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpuff, your host. We're talking about advertising with advertising minds from around the country. And today we have two guests, Lisa Mirabile from Vertigo Media Group and Michael Steidemann from Programmatic Mechanics. And we're excited to hear them and hear their thoughts about what's going on in the advertising world. So welcome to the show. Lisa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really great, Howard. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And Mike, how is it going so far?
So far, so good.
Perfect. Excellent. Great place to start. So what I'd like to know, get started, is Lisa, why don't we start with you? Tell us what is going on with you with the Vertigo Media Group and the things you're working on right now with your clients.
Sure. So, what's going on at Vertigo? Lots and lots. I have to say, right now, we're all about social media and creating authentic content. And I think that that's really what's key today in the advertising world. One thing that we need to keep in mind is the authenticity of the messages that we're putting forward. I think it's really important to understand a brand, what that brand sort of stands for, and create the content that brings it out in the most authentic way. Um, whether that be about diversity, whether that be about the brand's morals and values and where it comes from, but really putting it out there in the marketplace through social media, and and that's what we're up to today.
Very, very good and very timely. Obviously, it's really important to get that type of messaging out and personality out. Mike, what's going on with you and Programmatic Mechanics?
Yeah, we're just a bespoke agency trading desk. So if you think of the Zaxxes or Matterkinds or Amnets of the world, we do the same thing. We're just independent, so we don't belong to a holding company. But if anything, basically, we're humans and machines are working together to serve you digital media, whether it's digital out of home, display, video, connected TV, YouTube, you name it. If we can type it into a machine and make it run efficiently, and we're there.
Yeah, that efficiency of getting digital messages out is so important because everyone's on their phones, everyone's on their screens, everyone is moving from one screen, sometimes using two screens at the same time. It's what how are you able to really focus on where people's attention is when attention is so spread out to make sure these messages are resonating?
Me first?
Sure,
Sure.
yes.
I mean, it depends on what people want to do, whether it's branding or lower funnel. I personally, when I was on the trading side, working for Ford, um, we were optimizing mostly to hard metrics. So we were trying to get time spent with the customer, or actions, or things like locate a dealer, request a quote, that kind of information. So uh, the machine did a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of optimizing based on signals. So if it could find a pattern, maybe it's women at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on an iPhone 12 in Birmingham, Michigan, with a household income of 80K plus. That did really well. Then it served to more women in Birmingham, Michigan at 80K plus, so on and so forth. If it's branding, then it's more about being in the right place. And I'm sure Lisa will speak more to this, but uh, being in something that's more brand suitable, where you want your message to resonate and be aligned with the content, as opposed to just being a reminder to carry out something that you already maybe started doing. Maybe you started researching a vehicle or a shoe or whatever it is. And a lot of times, programmatic advertising is just a nice little reminder to get you to go back to finish what you're doing.
It's pretty incredible how specific the data can get and how you can really get it down to the person, their location, and those were the easy parts. But now, really getting into the specifics of what they're doing, their interests are, and their salary per year, and finding those little making those little circles of area that you're focusing that so that the next block over is not even getting that type of messaging for that person. Now, Lisa,
Yeah.
when it comes to being real with video and creating all this for social media, what is more important? Is it the entertainment value that along with that story and really having something that's eye-catching, or is it something where you may have a business owner who might not be the most camera friendly, but there's an authenticity to them, and their clunkiness in appearance works for the messaging?
So both have its place. To be completely honest, there's no, magic bullet here, but the authenticity needs to show through whether it's entertaining or not. Having the business owner or having that authentic message come through, it should be a combination of both, right? We never know what's going to hit that person, and again, that goes back to data, right? So it's about testing, and each audience reacts in a different way. So if you're more on a B2B side, I'd say you want to hear from that business owner. You want it to be more authentic. If it's going more to the consumer side, I think that those delivering the message need to be authentic, but you can weave in those messages of being more appealing, a little more out of the box. And we have a lot of fun with it. Authenticity doesn't mean dry, boring, and a face on the screen. Authenticity means like just just reality of the situation and capturing that. So whether we work with companies like Moe's Southwest Grill, right? And just having those moments of, the cheese dripping down your face. Yeah, that's something that happens, and normally, let's just say back in like early 2000s, you wouldn't necessarily show that, but today that's acceptable and it's actually very humorous and funny and it's real and authentic.
And there's a lot of passion when people scream out "Welcome to Moe's" as well.
Yes, that's right. That is correct.
So now we're in a new year. What do both of you see as the next new thing that could really help your clients get to that next step of revenue growth? So Mike, why don't we start with you?
Well, I think people, if you're, I mean, most, I guess for about 4 years there it was the year of the DSP, but I think most people are on board now with doing some level of programmatic advertising. I would just say for those of you that aren't doing any, just dip your toe in, but don't dip your toe in a little bit. It gets expensive to just spend a little bit. Where you get the great like bang for your buck is the economy of scale is when you spend a lot, because it doesn't take, it takes the same amount of people to run a $10,000 campaign as it takes to run a $10 million campaign to some extent, right? There's variance, but you get the idea. And so I think if people should look into it. And actually, Howard, if it's okay, I want to go back to your other question about the personal information, just in case there's some newbie out there that knows nothing that happens to stumble across this podcast. I think programmatic advertising has been really deified in the media in terms of them knowing too much about you. And I think people misunderstand what's happening. It's not like they know your name. It's not like they know your phone number. They don't know where you live. If you think about all the direct mail that you get, they do know all that. They know your name. They probably know your credit score. They know where you live. They know your phone number. They know your wife's name. They know everything about you. And yet for some reason, people are scared of cookies because it might tell someone that you shop for a shoe. And there's a lot of misplaced fear. And so just in case anyone that's totally new is watching this, I think dig into that, because the information that we know about people isn't really all that useful in terms of connecting personally with you. Like if you have an iPhone 12, there's a lot of people have an iPhone 12. That doesn't really matter. But it can help for advertising, right? If it's a certain app that is trying to hit people on an iPhone, then it's useful information.
Very valid information. Yes, you are a great dot when it comes to a lot of this digital, as opposed to a lot more specific with things that come to the mail. Lisa, very quickly, what do you see as some of the positives and new things for 2023?
For us, it's all about the TikTok and the new ability to advertise in TikTok. Using the algorithms that they have set up can be a really robust program. When you look at the way their advertising, actually works. Because the algorithms have changed so much in Instagram, it gives us a newer outlet and actually a more robust outlet to hit both segments, B2B and B2C. So it can be when used effectively, can be very good. I would say, however, you can't just do one thing, right? People are being bombarded. Like you said, there are two screens sometimes. You can't just hold into one thing. You need to diversify your marketing. You need to be, what used to be, and any traditional marketer would tell you that it was 7 times before your message, used to resonate. Now we're up to almost 21 times because of the amount of information that's coming at you so quickly. So keep that in mind when you're planning any kind of marketing, or if you're getting out into the programmatic. Make sure you're using the variety of mediums that are out there. Make sure that you're involved in your social media, and then keep an amount of traditional going as well. So I would say diversifying, but the latest and greatest has really been the TikTok business business program and advertising platform that they've put out.
All this is great information, and TikTok really has changed a tremendous amount about how we use video and how people are absorbing it. So thank you both very much for joining us. This really was great information and really exciting to see where you're at as this year begins.
Thank you, Howard.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you all for joining us as well. The advertising world is always beaming with great ideas and great information that's valuable to a company. Most companies don't have access to that type of data to understand exactly how to find the right target audience for your market and to how to digitally hit them with the right information. And getting your videos out there, having that something that's really genuine, that tells a story that resonates with people, really gets a great response. And people are on all the time looking for videos. They're looking for it. So please check out more information about both of these great people and great agencies on Daily Ad Brief. And go out and have a great rest of today. And we'll see you next time on Advertising Champions.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.